Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tony Six Morning Show. I'm Tony T here with you every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, giving out live free picks for today's card. And on today's show, we'll have picks right here from Major League Baseball. It's the World Series, Game 1 of the Blue Jays and the LA Dodgers on tap there. Also, picks from college football. We have a couple there on the card. We also have a 12-game card from the NBA. And if we get any hockey guys in here, then we'll have hockey for you as well, a small card on the ice. Guys, make sure you hit that like, that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate that. I'm flying solo today, unless we get somebody that pops in. I just send the email out to the crew, and whoever can come in can come in. So we'll have days like this where it'll just me flying solo. Looks like that'll be the day. But I got the chat here coming in here with their picks and more and comments. Post World Series thoughts today. Of course, Donnie Baseball. Hope he gets his ring. We'll see. We'll see how that rolls. It's going to be tough as Don Manley enters his first World Series. Of course, Manley used to manage the Dodgers way back when. There. Of course, Chargers were easy money. Yeah, well, I think for me, the Sharks were taking the 3.5. I think there. Once the line moved past the 3, they were on the hook. But there was buyback after, once it hit 3.5. I know a lot of Sharps got the 2.5 is really where the sharp money was. If you bet it early, you got the 2.5. Once it passed 3, the Sharps were off it, no doubt there. Let's see here. Of course, good morning, JM as well. Critter up there as well. A lot of sharp folks in the chat today. Morning to you as well. Lots of great contributors here on the. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see the Francesca Manley interview. I saw the thumbnail. I didn't hit it, but I saw it there. Yeah, 3.5. Yep, I had the 3.5. I took the sharp money there with the 3.5. But hey, it rolls. Looks like Javon's going to join us here in the chat. Javon, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, guys. Tony T, good morning, my man. How's it been?
It's going great, boy, it was a long wait to get to this World Series, but we're finally here. But, man, this is the time of the year when we just got sports overlap here. It's really testing our bandwidth here.
That's it, man. For me, this is my favorite time of the year, man. When you don't have a lot going on the outside world, it gives you a lot of opportunity to kind of lock in. And you know me, man, I'm well-rounded, so this is – honestly, I love it, man. This is my favorite time of the year, baby.
It certainly is. So we'll get right to it here. Let's start with the World Series, right? It is the World Series. We'll give it its proper respect here. Dodgers, Blue Jays, Game 1. We're seeing here LA going to be about $1.50, total 7.5. We got Snell, the lefty, against Trey Yasevich, the right-hander.
Yeah, man. That's it. For me, this is really plain and simple, man. Who has the better lineup? The Dodgers. Who has the better bullpen? The Dodgers. Who's more battle tested? The Dodgers. All over, more well-rounded, the Dodgers. For me, they're starting the rookie in Yasevich. He's done a great job this year. I just don't know how much more I can continue to trust him in these spots. Give him his flowers. Like I said, he's done a great job this postseason, but can we continue to trust him the deeper and deeper it gets, especially against this battle-tested team in the Dodgers? For me, not a lot of stats. As you know, I'm not a stat guy. I'm just going to go with what I see, with what I know, and I'm going to roll with the Dodgers, man. I'm not going to try to be foolish and take this plus money. And you think about the Blue Jays overall, historically, this is one of the more least profitable teams if you go back a couple of years, and so I'm just going to lean on what I know. The line the line kind of tells you what you should know, and we're going to roll with the money. Dodgers.
Javon here on the Dodgers here. Yeah, I can only look at Dodgers. I'll probably look run line here with LA because you get the plus price back on that run line. Blake Snell has just been unhittable. I realize, and I've been echoing this throughout many of the series the Blue Jays were involved. They've been crushing left-handed pitching. The Rodones, the Fried, but Snell might be maybe on his own island here. He's going to be a tough one to hit. And then, of course, Vesia will not be in the World Series here. I don't know how long the games. He's going to miss a few games. He got some personal issues, so they're going to miss that lefty out of the bullpen. But the way I see it, Snell only started 11 games this year, so his arm is fresh. He's only started one game in the playoffs, one in the wild card, one in the division series, one in the LCS. So he's pretty much 14 starts this year. He's got a fresh arm. And I just think he's built to go 7 here if needed, right? 7. You got 4 starters. Again, because unless it's a sweep, we're only going to see him once. If it's a 5 or longer series, we could see him twice there. But there, I just think here with Snell going 7, you can then go to Glasnow because Glasnow will probably pitch. Will be the 4th. Will pitch next week. and then you've got Sasaki. So you get to Glasnow in the 8th. You got Sasaki. I think that's a pretty good pitching stat. It's gonna be tough to hit these guys. I mean,
Sasaki is all you need, man. Honestly, and he's proven that, man. So.
Yep, no doubt about that. Sasaki there.
And then while you talked about the Blue Jays crushing lefties, we talked about this last time I was on. I know it's been a while, but I said this last series and I was wrong. But what goes up must come down, right? And this offensive powerhouse in the Blue Jays, I don't think it can continue on for much longer, man. I'm just saying, man. Let's expect a little bit of digression. Is that a word? I'm not too sure. But yeah, you understand. Yeah, digression. You understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for regression. Regression is the way we're looking for. Yeah, that's what we're looking for there. The thing there is Yasevich has only averaged 5 innings per start in the playoffs. And again, that's a concern because then you got 4 innings of shaky Blue Jays bullpen, which, believe it or not, the Blue Jays bullpen has been worse than the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's it, man. You're not lying.
So you're looking here at the Blue Jays bullpen in the playoffs. The Blue Jays bullpen ERA of 5.52. Yasevich, they didn't really trust him. I think they yanked him early in one of the games, but that's going to be a tough situation. They're tough for the Blue Jays. I look Dodgers run line in that one. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Morning Show. Well, we'll go to college football. They don't hit the NBA here. We got 3 games on college football for today. We're looking at North Texas and Charlotte. Big line here with North Texas 25.5, total 61. Cal and Virginia Tech 6, total 50.5. And late night tonight, Boise State, Nevada. Boise State 21.5, total 51.5.
Yeah, full transparency, man. I didn't spend any time on college football today, man. I spent enough time in NHL and NBA. So if you have any insights, man, please let me know, man.
Yeah, I have pretty much lanes, no premiums for me on this card today. I just didn't like I did not like the card today here. It's
a tough one.
It's a tough one, no doubt about that. It's a tough card here in college.
Here's our college football guy, though.
Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah, Jorge. I'll get to Jorge in a sec here. I like the over here, North Texas and Charlotte. North Texas against the conference put up 45 points a game. Their defense has not been solid here, so I look for an over in that one. Cal and Virginia Tech. It's tough for me to lay points with Virginia Tech. I know it's a road trip for Cal, but I'll take them here plus the points. You look at Virginia Tech. They've lost at home to Wake Forest, Old Dominion, Vandy. Cal does have road wins at BC. BC is a bad team. So is Oregon State. I get that. But they're not accurate at quarterback at home is this Virginia Tech team. Drones is just, I think, underperformed. With his legs, kind of a good runner, but with his arm is not getting it done. Virginia Tech 3-5. The spread as a home favorite of 7 or fewer. I'll look at Cal in that one. And Boise and Nevada, it's tough for me to take it, but they just made the line too inflated for me to take a Boise. I'll take Nevada as a home dog here. They are 2-0. The spread as a home dog of 21.5 to 28 points. Boise State, not as accurate at the quarterback position on the road this year, although they've had a tough road schedule. But Nevada can run the football at home, and they limit opponents on the ground. So I'll look at Nevada in this one. All right, Jorge, in the college football. Then we've got the baseball and the college football. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll jump back into baseball, man. Yeah. What the hell is wrong with Roberta? How in the hell is he making all of his relievers have mental issues in the playoffs? Dude, this is the most ridiculous. I'm going to say crap because I really want to say the other word. This is the most ridiculous crap I've ever seen in the history of baseball. When you don't have a closer, you have these issues. And this is how he wants to make himself part of the game. Dude, they need Vesia being gone is, dude, he was huge in the last year. Yeah. Absolutely huge. Again, he's done this the last few years. Dodgers don't have a bullpen, period.
Nope.
They don't have a closer. They don't have a setup guy. And when you want to be the metrics guy part of it, you've created this situation. And, I'm going to disagree just a little bit. Dude, one of them's got to come down, right? Because there can only be one winner. They played well to get here and do the playoff, so one does have to come down. And I don't know. Is it going to be an all offensive game? I don't think so. I think both offenses are going to do well at different points. Ohtani hasn't done that well in the postseason. No. He had one historical game that probably will never be duplicated, but was pretty quiet the rest of it. Betts has showed up. Freeman's always going to show up. Not that Ohtani's not going to, but Toronto is they've been pretty consistent as the way they've hustled and stayed in the game. So I really don't. I think to me it's 50-50. I give a slight edge, as much of a Dodger fan that I am, I give a slight edge to Toronto for having a better psyche, a better team attitude, a better identity as a team when they play games. Watching another one of your key relievers fall off before a World Series for personal issues, dude, I don't even know what to say, man. It's so hard to follow my own team. I would almost take the plus money with Toronto just because of that. And it might be because I just don't like Roberts, but I mean,
yeah, we heard this for years, right? All right.
The result is this is crazy, right? I mean, it's nuts.
Well, let's back up here on the Tanner Scott was personal matter, but then it came out that it was a medical there.
No,
So
that's true. That's true.
You know,
but still, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, again, there's not even anybody to say who is the reliever, the closer, or any of them. This last one, hopefully it's not something really bad with Vesia. He'll be all right. But Vesia, so it'll be all right. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to watch, man. I'm gonna watch it more as a fan. I don't know if I'll get involved with it, to be honest with you. I'm just so old school traditional baseball that I look at that and it's like all-star leagues or we used to have Legion ball out here in Las Vegas, which all-star during the summer, which wasn't even like a real coach, and you just went out and played and you threw people that didn't play their positions, played other positions and stuff like that. So but no, we can shift gears over to college. A root for Dodgers as a fan. I may get in there and go and take some of the plus money. I just think it's ridiculous that it's that favored. I think they're pretty equal. Neither, like you said, Tony, great point. Both bullpens stink. You know what I mean? They got timely hitting. They got good starters. It's about as 50-50 you can get. So really get the value, man. I mean, if you're gonna be a sharp bettor, you don't want to lay any juice in these type of situations. Dodgers are paid for and built to win this. I mean, anybody who doesn't acknowledge that and doesn't want to see that as the inherent reality. I mean, they spent the money to build it. They should win it, but it's up to them to lose it in this scenario. But they're overly priced for sure. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. Yeah, it is a fat price there. Although I would say, Toronto, the benefits with them, a very good home record. If you look at their home record, they've been very good, very good at home against
their baseball. Yep.
One of the best in the league this year.
Canadians love their baseball. Ron's a big fan up there, but it's just the whole country's like that. They really like their sports up there, man. And they've always been a huge supporter of the Blue Jays when they've been in the playoffs. Always.
They would have supported Montreal, but that stadium was horrible. I mean,
they did. Come on, Carter years way back when I was young, dude. Montreal fan. When anyone had to go play up there, it was in Dawson. Expos were great, man.
Steve Rogers, remember Steve Rogers? Yeah, they had some. They had some good teams, but the stadium sucked. That was the problem. That stadium was just horrible. They built for the Olympics in '76 Olympics. That stadium was just garbage, and that's probably one of the reasons why they weren't able to succeed there in Toronto, in Montreal. But there you go. Got there. Anything you see in this college card today, Jorge?
Yeah, I mean, there's some big lines there, some favorites. Dude, man, North Texas State is ruthless. Those guys. I mean, I've classified myself as a bully bettor many times.
Yeah.
And when you look at that team that'll snap the ball with 20 seconds left every single down, they're just ruthless, right? They're just going to stomp on the other team. Again, I don't know if I want to lay that many points. First half, I think first half. I think the second half, what'll happen, why it's hard to cover that number. Obviously, when they're pounding the hell out of them, they're going to let the third stringers come in, the fourth stringers, the walk-ons come in and get some playing time, and they'll give up some garbage points at the end. So if you do want to lay these bigger favorites, I definitely would say look at the first half. In those scenarios, obviously, they'll be playing their first stringers. Yeah, man, there ain't no way to put any money on against North Texas in the spot. There's just no way at all. So maybe take them first half. I do like the under. In the California-Virginia Tech game. California can't run the ball at all. Virginia Tech can't stop the run. But you know what, man? I look at it as, Virginia Tech's a down year, obviously. But even one of their players says, hey, we're playing on Friday night. We're playing under the big lights. And, for a team that probably is not going to go to a bowl game, this is their biggest game of the year. So it's kind of hard to lay points, crossing 3 time zones. That being said, California did go in and beat Boston College. Boston College, pretty similar to Virginia Tech. They are a major conference team, not playing very well, but can they step up? Sure, they can definitely do that. So I'll lean. Actually, I like the under. I like the under in the Cal Virginia Tech game. I think they match up well for themselves. And Cal on the road over the last 2 years has been almost a dead under every time they've traveled, and maybe the new conference for conference alignment may have an issue with it, and that's a neat dynamic too. That we really are finally starting to get a 1-2, and next year will be a 3-year sample of how does crossing all the time zones in college really affect these teams when they do it in conference play. So that's something to watch. And the trend so far has been they don't do so well, and they just don't have the same offensive output anyway. So I would go under in that one. And Reno sucks, dude. They're horrible. I don't know what you were talking about. Yeah, I mean, they have covered 3 out of 4 on some big spreads. But they kind of, I will give you this. But what people don't realize is that they're not that far from each other.
Right.
They really don't like each other. They do recruit some of the same players in the area, so there is a little bit of, about wanting to be the better team there. But we know that's Boise State. I thought they were going to be a lot better this year. I really, I think it was the defensive coordinator from Texas went over there and took over the program. His name's slipping in my mind right now. But I thought they'd be a lot better. I thought they'd be better defensively, but they're not. Again, it's a big point spread, but hey, if you can get under 14 for the first half for Boise State, we saw how they moved against the Rebels. I don't know if Reno's defense is that bad, but it's in that area. So if I don't know, first half Boise State, if it's under 14, I'd take it.
Yeah, they really missed Brendan Lewis, who was a really accurate mobile quarterback, but he got hurt with Nevada. He got hurt a lot because he ran too much. I forgot the team that he transferred to, and they had a lot of success with him, but then he got hurt again. So you got to keep an eye there. Brendan Lewis I liked him a lot, but he was always on that injury report, and that was the issue there. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Show.
Really fast, guys. I just had a question because I've heard different things. You know how we look for key numbers in the NFL? Is there such a thing in college football, or are you not really trying to find key numbers?
That's a good question because you can't. First off, one thing I've learned in college football, you can't trust the kickers. You really can't. I mean, that's what it comes down to. A lot of teams go for the 2. To me, I've never been a key number. I don't really look at that.
Never really factor it in. Yeah.
No, I look at more of the sharp line moves. And nobody, even like the 3.5. I look more forward in the NFL.
No, yeah. Javon, you're onto something, and both you guys are onto something. I'll say this. Well, the kickers in the NFL you can't trust anymore either. Now that they moved it all the way back, right? Yeah. They're not hitting 95% no more. I mean, 95 plus. So on a bad weather day, and we're in that season, that could happen. So Javon, you should always start fundamentally on key numbers, and then work your way away from it. You know what I mean? If you think it's so much that you wouldn't take it, then take the other side. But in the past, you wouldn't do that. College, yeah, it depends, man. I mean, you got to look at the college with the lower. So as you go and get away from the Power 4, and you move down, like Tony says, you can't trust some of these kickers in the lower leagues. In the Power 4, they get the best kickers. I mean, they do. You don't see those guys. I mean, the wide rights, in the rivalries, that happens. That's nerves. That's the NFL level type stuff. But definitely stay on your key numbers. 7's always going to be a key number, bro. I don't care what anybody says on any level. 7.5, 6.5, that's key, right?
Yeah.
Field goal has lessened a little bit. What we are seeing, to Tony's point, is now we are seeing 5.5. We used to never see 5.5. That was like the
and that's my favorite number, man.
Right? You know what? It's funny.
6, and even 4.5, you started getting jittery. Those are like omens, right? You didn't want to mess with those.
But there's one guy you know, and this is where I picked it up from. One guy who likes to take the +5 is Jimmy Vaccaro, because his famous line was at the game, if you take +5, if the game lands 3, the game lands 4, you win no matter who wins. That's an old Jimmy Vaccaro line. Back in the day when he would give picks, remember back in the day he would actually go on shows and give out picks?
Yeah, Jimmy's still kicking. I got to see some of the old school guys. Not this last conference they had here in town, Tony, but 2 back. All the old schoolers there, the guys I looked up to when I first came out. So it's cool to see. Roxy was even there. That I don't know if did they show up this last time?
No, actually, they only show up if they're getting honored nowadays. I know Billy Walters, them the guys. Yeah,
they're up there.
Jimmy there, yeah. Although
I went to the right one then, because I went and sat in there. I got to say hi to some of those guys.
Yeah, that was with Billy Walters. That crew that went in was
that was
top
pretty
flight.
Cool,
that was top flight.
For the youngsters that didn't jump in there and see that, man. Even to me, I was really happy I made that one, because I got to see them. And all these new guys are sharp, man. You guys got a lot of information. Guys like yourself, Javon, and the rest of the new crews here, and Alex, and all these other younger guys, and Sean's been around with me too for a while, and but there's still some old fundamentals, man. You always want to stick to them, watch them. At the end of the day, like I said, Power 4 conferences is a little bit closer to the NFL, right? The NFL, you definitely stick to the key numbers a little bit more, but now people are going more for it on fourth downs. Again, that's another thing that's really, really wiped it down. So I've lost totals this year. I've got hooked. I told Tony 5 totals this year. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been hooked that much in a whole season of my entire life with both of them combined. But it's because they're going for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just, it's again, that takes things off the key number 2, right? So there's a lot of stuff that changes. So Javon, it was a great question. Always start fundamentally there, more so in the pros.
That's it.
College, do it more so with the power 4. But when you get to, and I love betting.
Some say it's a power. Some say it's a power 2 now. We're heading to a power 2, but we'll see how that rolls. Right?
Yeah, we're losing the other 2 kind of.
No, it's not about power 4 your record. It's about how much money your program has.
Yeah, it's true.
All those power 4 schools, money have money, bro.
Yeah,
that's it.
They got budgets. That's why they could win any game anytime they play. It doesn't matter how big. That's how those teams win is 28-point dogs, right? Wake Forest down, even though they're decent this year. Though Boston College down this year, might knock off a top 10 team. You know what I mean? It can happen.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. And it's because, they actually still do have the facility. So, yeah, Tony, top 2, no doubt as far as, productivity. But, I disagree. I think Indiana's overrated. They haven't won anything yet. I mean, they're crowning them best team in college.
Maybe in Oregon. In Oregon.
Yeah,
that's somebody there.
Yeah,
that's somebody.
They had a bad game.
They
had a bad game. They obviously didn't have a mental letdown in the next game. They came out and beat the snot at a Rutgers. We let that game go. So
hell yeah.
Was it that big of a game, or did Oregon have a bad game? And Indiana's a great upcoming program, no doubt. But would they be undefeated in the SEC? Hell no.
Oh no. I mean, it's just
not a damn. No. Indiana is having a great season. I'm not saying that, but to start clowning, they're the best program in football. They're not. They're not even playing Ohio State this year, man.
Well, we're gonna learn a lot when we get to the playoff round because we have a lot more rounds in the playoffs. Yeah. So that's why we have 12 teams. Maybe we'll have 16. We'll see how that rolls.
I love James Madison when they were coming up. I watched them as they evolved and came into the league. I was on them early, and there was dogs. I've been following them and love them, but to crown them, this big over some of these powerhouses, and it really the real big. There's only one big conference, and that's the farm team SEC for the NFL. The other ones aren't even. To me, it's the one conference. To me, it's like 1, and then 3, and then the rest. So I mean, that's and if you look at who puts all the players into the NFL.
Yep. If you bet college baseball, the SEC is AAA now. Because those guys go right in. When you draft a baseball player from the SEC, they go in the first year. They're playing for the big league, for the big club now.
For sure.
I mean, that's really where it's at. All right, let's continue on.
Hey, thank you once again, man, for the free game. That's why I always ask, man. It's like you said, we bring a lot of sharp insight with the young generation, but it's always good to figure out what's kind of been a staple in this game, right? So it's good to ask questions from people who have been doing this as long as I've been alive, brother. So I appreciate you, man.
Be fundamental, man. Always be fundamental to start, but then you got to adjust a little bit. So yeah, very sharp on your end.
That's it. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on over to the NBA. I got to give a shout out to the NBA. The NBA took a lot of heat. It was well deserved, but you can't give them any heat on the court. Those games yesterday were outstanding.
And because of believe that. So by the way, man, I got some. I've been telling people for years the games are fixed. You know what I mean? And it's not rampantly being fixed, but dude, they bust people in Europe all the time on soccer.
Oh yeah, on soccer.
Years. They catch them on tennis. And the way they caught some of these people now is because we borrowed their model. And so I remember back in the day when they didn't even it was illegal to bet on UNLV. That's why they broke up Jerry Tarkanian, because they're the biggest sponsors of the school that gave money where they couldn't bet on the Rebels when they were in the Final Four tournament. Not the whole tournament. They could take no action. Lost millions. So they made it legal for the Rebels. And then it progressed that way. Some of the European companies came into the country, and we adapted and borrowed that. And then Jay Kornegay became a consulting for all the pro sports on what's going on with these games. So instead of the sports book being the evil thing to pro sports, it became the actual consultant and the one to throw flags up with to say, hey, this is going on. That's irregular. That's what they've been doing in Europe for decades. That's how they catch people cheating over there.
Yeah, I mean,
we've done now. So a couple of people from back in the day come and done that. I've actually I specifically went crazy in my days. I wasn't handicapping yet, when Pittsburgh and Boston College got busted for fixing a game, and the Pittsburgh guys were like missing tackles on purpose in the secondary. I'll be honest, I got thrown out of the bar I was at. I mean, they did. I went absolutely batshit. And a year later, they busted them. You know what I mean? Pittsburgh was that good. Boston hadn't won a game. Not only did they cover, they won outright. So I got a couple texts. You see it yesterday morning from 6 a.m. I was getting texts. Did you see the stories? Did you read them? And all that. But it's good to talk about, guys. You just never know, man. And we still have to bet these games. Believe it's a lot strict now. It's a lot more regulated now.
Regulated. That's what I was going to get to. The difference here, now that you have legalization, that if they see something out of whack, they'll report it. If you're an offshore operator, they'll limit action and take the game down. That's what happens.
They've always done that.
Yeah, and that fact that it's legal, they're going to catch it. They'll catch it now that it's legal. And speaking of catching, of course, we just mentioned Jimmy Vaccaro. He was the one that caught that big Arizona State point shaving sandal himself, right, Jorge?
Well, dude, I was on radio when that happened out here, and it came. And this is a true story. Headache Smith. So they were winning. They were losing these games on purpose. The gaming control board, when I was on the Stardust line, went down there at halftime, walked into the locker room, looked at all the players. They said, we know who's betting. We know what you guys were doing. We know everything that's going on. And I have a little bit of advice for you. This is how hardcore the gaming control board is in Nevada. And they are. Then you don't mess with them. They're not going to Gestapo. They said, you guys better win this second half. That's what they told them. They were down by double digits. They came out and beat the snot out of them. They beat them by like 20 points.
Yeah.
They covered the game easily. And that was one of the big great historical game and issue. And that was a big turning point on when Vegas started being used as the one to say, hey, is this fishy? Is there something going on? Should we call out this game? Good point, Tony. But that was that scandal. Yep, headaches.
Yeah, and also we should not fail to mention Kenny White has been a big proponent of that, right? Keep things up and up. And he also used to meet with commissioners as well. So they were in touch with the Vegas well before this became legal.
I'm not giving Kenny no credit on that. That was Jay, dude. Jay was the man on that. Jay's always been a straight shooter on that aspect of it. He's never not to knock Kenny, but Kenny's been better.
Yeah, he is a better, no doubt.
Jay, he's been a better. He's back betting again. Jay and Kenny's got a lot of connections. He knows a lot of people. His old man was with the original crews out here and all that too. So he's on both sides. He did become an odds maker. He was good. But Jay Cornegay has always been the pillar of right and the numbers and doing that. So as far as Vegas goes, I'm concerned is to this day, Jay's definitely wants to get credit for that.
That's right. No doubt about that. All right. We'll get to the association here. We'll start three blocks of four here. Bucks and Raptors. The Raptors favored at home here. 1.5 total 234. Hawks and Magic. The Magic 5 total 235.5. We're seeing 4.5s in the market now. Cavs and Nets. We got the Cavs 11.5 total to 230.5. Celtics and Knicks. We got the Knicks 3.5 total sits here at 230.5. We'll just keep a quick eye on the injury report. Giannis, probable portal out for the Bucks. There, Hawks just looks like Rasacher is questionable. Moritz Wagner out for the Magic. And then in the Boston and Knick game, Luke Garza. I can't believe Luka Garza is with Boston now. He's out. So as we know, Tatum's out for the year. Robinson out for the Knicks. Towns, Hart questionable, and Anunoby here will be probable in their game. And we'll be looking at Cleveland and Brooklyn here. Garland still out, Strus still out, Hunter questionable, and on the Nets side, Highsmith, Powell, and Wolf. We'll start with Jorge.
I know a lot of people were shaking their heads at Utah. They were shaking their heads at the Charlotte Hornets. But guys, let me tell you about basketball, man. And I've always been a gym rat. When you start playing with people that are better than you, you're never going to get better until they whip your ass on the court. And you get whooped repeatedly. It's the only way you learn. So Utah, look what they did to the Clippers. Charlotte on fire. Toronto was another one. They were covered at the end of the year last year, dude. I was taking them left and right. They weren't beating very many teams, but the coach is a good coach. It's a next man up. All the injuries they had last year. So especially early on in the season, don't put the same evaluation that you had on that team last year to this year. And if a lot of those young players are still there, they've got in there and got some playing time and actually did well when they had their playing time. Now they're a solid reserve. Before they were a scrub. Now they're definitely a solid reserve that you got to jump in there and give them some valuations. I'm going to lean to Toronto here. I'm going to take a plus at home. in this spot. Celtics, man, dude, it's kind of hard to back the Celtics early. You know, they were so centered around Tatum and Brown. Can White step up and be a top 3 scorer? He was always the 3rd scorer, maybe 4th. You know, and he was good at it. Now he's shown some ability to score, but you know, can he handle that the whole season when they start putting their best perimeter defender on him, or the next one, or a bigger body? Right, he's a little guy. If you put a big athletic 6'8" guy on him, it's going to lean on him. It's a little physical. Is he going to be able to handle it when they play? So it'll be interesting to see on the Celtics one. I definitely like the Magic. Magic's definitely made some good moves. You know, bringing Bane over there to give them their 3 scores. Now, I'm a big believer in that. Fundamentally, I'll always stay with that. In any level of basketball, college or pros, you got to have 3 guys. You got to have 3 go-to guys. You know, when the ball moves around and they can score it. Orlando has that now. You know, so you got to watch that. Definitely do like Orlando in that one. And yeah, man, you know, Celtics have been good for a long time. Those division rivals are going to want to beat the shot out of them. So you better believe they're going to be fired up when they play them.
It was weird to see it at their end game who had the ball and who was taking the shot. Peyton Pritchard, the guy that just got the $100 million extension, right? With no Tatum in there, it was Peyton Pritchard holding the ball and taking the last little. He missed the shots. He missed 2 key shots at the end. We'll see how his confidence is after that. But he was the guy in the end game.
Well, yeah, you're going to double team the other 2. You know, I mean, they're going to let him take the shot. You know, before they let White and brain farts.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Brown take the shot. So Brown's always going to be tough. But we'll see how they evolve. I mean, what we're really going to find out for Boston is how good is their coach, because he came in a totally loaded team. You know, I did at first I didn't like him at all. I'm not about metrics in the NBA. I'm not about metrics in anything really. But I mean, there's some truth to it. But he went to fundamental basketball in the playoffs and they won. So I'll give Mazzulla some credit on that. But now we're going to find out how good he is. Now he don't got the, you know, top lineup in there. They didn't spend all the money. And, you know, he doesn't have Holiday come in there and play, you know, top-notch perimeter defense and clutch, which he is, and score that, you know, buckets when no one's covering him. So we'll see how he does. But I think the Knicks are loaded. You know, I think the Knicks, this might be a good year for the Knicks. I'm not a big fan of them, but I'll definitely think they built him where Bronson's tough. They put some guys around him finally. And let's just hope they're as tough as him, because it just seems they're just a little weak around him. Towns and all these guys, they just need to toughen up a little bit. But yeah,
Brown brings that SoCal chill to the stressful New York. I mean, you think the Tibbs was always a stress monster, man. He looked like he was on the edge. All right, we'll move right on over Javon.
Yeah, we'll just piggyback right there off of that last pick, man. And how can you not like the Knicks here at home Friday night against the Celtics? Kind of the same reasons, right? You know, this is the first road game without Tatum in the new year. Let's remember, this injury didn't happen overnight. The Celtics have had time to adapt and practice and get ready. But at the same time, we haven't seen it in a real game. With that being said, a more meaningful game, right? The Knicks Friday night, you would consider that a meaningful game. I understand it's still early on in the season, but I really love the Knicks there, man. You talk about the Knicks side of things, man. Mike Brown has these guys playing amazing. Small sample size, first game, but the word that I would like to use is balanced, right? The Knicks team looked balanced in that first win. The ball was moving around. These guys were in the right positions. I can't think of the guy's name, the center that they stuck in there, and he played significant minutes. You can't really, no, not Robinson, because he's out. So it's somebody who's filling in for Robinson.
Hukporti.
Yeah. This guy, man, he wasn't showing up on the stat sheet, but he was making winning plays with inside the game. You know, and just this early on in the season, you would expect maybe a little bit of a setback or maybe kind of, you know, just growth pains, but you're not seeing that with the Knicks. Like you mentioned, Brunson's playing out of his mind. This is a good team, man. I'm not afraid to back them here Friday night at home against the Celtics team where we have some question marks, man. So why not lay it? And same thing with the Magic, man. I'll lay it again with them, kind of the same reasons. Good team overall. Paulo, he's getting better every year, if not every game, right? We're liking this kid. The Magic, same team, same sentiment. They're building around kind of the same core, just the same system, man. It's kind of been the same thing for the last couple of years. You guys have players like Jonathan Isaac, who they stuck with. This is a 6'10 unicorn. I love this kid, man. When he gets out on the court and he's actually healthy, I look for the Orlando Magic to make some noise. You talk about Desmond Bain over Cole Anthony. That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Man, just this whole roster, man. And then you're just talking about the opposite side of the ball. Atlanta Hawks, man. Man, listen, man, it's the same thing. Trae Young, I'm kind of done with you, man. I don't care what you can do on the offensive side of the ball if you can't play defense. You're allowing the other team to come down at will and set up their offense at the hands of your just lack of defense, man. You're poor,
That's a great
man.
point, Javon, man. If they come down and set up their offense in the first 10 seconds every single time,
it's poor.
Yeah,
it's poor. So then what you have is you have a great defender in Porzingis. You got all these great defenders around you, but they're having to make up for your lack thereof, right? And so it's just causing a real disarray on defense, and that's why you're seeing these high totals with the Hawks, man. So Trae Young, you can keep giving these chances. I just don't believe in you. So yeah, let's lay it with the Magic at home Friday night. Second best overall team in terms of defense. I know small sample size, but that's another home team that I'm not afraid to roll with.
No, Orlando's the best last year. They're built that way. They brought Bain. No, you're 100% right on that.
Yeah. So, I think that's it for this first slate, man. I don't want to go too deep, man, because we have
Hey, to jump on with Javon's question in football and basketball, key number 6. That'll never change. I don't care how they play, what they do. That's 2 3-pointers away. And early on in the season, with all the free agency and moves, it's hard to lay over 6 points. It's very hard to lay over 6 points on any of these teams until we get them to play for like 2 weeks, man. Anything over 6, definitely 10. I'm taking the other side. Utah proved that. So we just got to be a little bit careful now on laying a lot of big points, and I think they're giving out too many points. I think going for the value early in the first couple of weeks is probably safer than trying to lay some of these big points.
There you go. Tell you what I think about these. Remember, some of these teams, it's really weird about the playoffs. Playoffs take 2 months. The non-playoff teams had 6 months of rest. The playoff teams had anywhere between 5 and 6 months and 4 months of rest. So it's very interesting to see. We saw like the Atlanta Hawks. They didn't go very far, right? So they probably had like 6 months of rest, and they came out with a very fast pace. Milwaukee was knocked out early, another fast pace. So I kind of look at pace. This is kind of the time of the year we get overs because these guys are fresh, especially on some of these non-playoff teams with 6 months of rest coming into the season. I like over here Milwaukee and Toronto in this one. Each team played a top 5 in offensive efficiency in the opener and a very fast pace to start the season. I like over in that game. I'm also going over here with we said Hawks and the Magic. Again, Hawks fastest pace in the opener. Orlando played the third fastest pace. Bain 23 for the Magic. The team saw improvement. Remember, Orlando was the worst 3-point shooting team in the league last year of just over 31%. They're going to get improvement there.
Bain plays defense too, so he gets to their defense first mentality.
This line has come down from Brooklyn was getting 13. Now they're going to get 11.5. I'm going to stay away from that one. All right, let's continue.
No, don't even take the points, man. That's come down for a reason. I forgot about them. They're another team. Dude, they were super hurt last year.
Yeah. They were in tank mode. They traded 2 key components for draft picks right to start the season. They
were on 10-day contract mode. What are you talking about? Yeah. They had no players.
We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, Nets.
Yeah.
Man, listen, they traded Michael Porter Jr. there for a reason. Michael, you can thank Jonte, right? This is one of those things we can't get to your brother, so we're getting to you. I am my brother's keeper, however you want to list it. If the Nuggets cared about Michael Porter Jr. in any facet, they would have sent him to a team that mattered. They sent him to the worst team in the league, and I wholeheartedly believe this is the worst team in the league, man.
Personal.
I'll lay it, man. And this is I'm just throwing out crazy,
Hey, I don't like Porter.
I love to do it, but man, this is hey, man.
I take it back. I'm not a Porter hater. He just wasn't clutch in the playoffs, and I was always my knock.
Michael never passed the rock. Porter Jr., come on, man. They're in trouble. And Cam Thomas, he's not going to get any better. We've seen the best of him. You're not going to sit here and tell me this team is they're bad. But you're right. 11.5 is a lot.
They covered last year with their banged up guys on those big points.
Matter of fact, if you look, the Nets had a winning spread record last year because they launched threes like crazy. That's really
there's one key stat. sorry to cut you off. There's one key stat. At favorites of minus 952 or higher last season, Cleveland was 13-0. So I don't know if that line, and it dropped. So I would imagine it's at like what, minus 700 now. So yeah, maybe take the points, man.
I'll tell you what, man. Maybe it's the style of basketball now. And last year was kind of a real freaky year for basketball. Not just Cleveland, but Thunder did it too. Well, it's a great point Javon brought up. And yeah, they were blowing teams out. And I took Cleveland at home at least, and definitely not on the road. But those big spreads being beaten, whooped. It's a great point he brought up. Let's see how Cleveland, who pretty much has the same team, responds to covering those big spreads. I don't know if that's going to apply the same to Thunder because they're the champs. So they're always going to get everybody's best shot when they come through. So they're always going to be a little bit extra pressure against them. But good point. They did cover those big giant spreads. And they didn't win their last game. Another great point, you guys, and I'll tell you, some of the old school guys taught me this. And Tony, they don't play defense the whole regular season. You don't got to talk about it at the beginning. They don't play an OD until the second season of the playoffs.
It's just the pace of play is just super fast here. Until we get to the All-Star break, then you see the pace start to slow down. I think we're just kind of in territory where we can play overs, especially for some of these teams that have 6 months
sure.
off. Because we think of the NBA as a long season. It's a long season for playoff teams.
So the way to bet some of these really good teams, and Javon, to keep an eye on, that was a freakish stat for Cleveland. I mean, I haven't seen that really in any sports to do that. Usually when they're playing, and they did it against the lesser teams. Anytime, the way to bet the NBA regular season is the travel schedule. Did they just play a big team, and now are they going to play a lesser team? Is there any star matchup? That's the only thing they get fired up about, where they're going to play some offense and some defense, is those key matchups. Are they the only games on Thursday night? They pay attention to stuff like that. The rest of the league is watching them. The lights are on them. You're going to get a bigger effort there. So coming onto those games and coming off of those games, they may win, but they may not cover. So that's kind of a way to look on those things. And they're going to pick their spots where they're going to play that, from Tony's point about not playing defense and how they play in the playoffs. They're going to come with some intensity when there's a top team matchup, top superstar matchup.
Yeah.
Is another one where you see they'll come out with their best game. So tread lightly on those double digits, man. I'm not a fan of laying that many points.
Spots and situations like you talked about.
Especially when Shaq and Barkley are in the studio, you don't want to get those memes getting out there, and they're bashing you. They know they all follow that. They all know what's Barkley going to say.
Barkley will drop a gem every once in a while.
I know. And these guys don't. They're not afraid to take off their gloves, man. That's why they're so popular.
Yeah, I'm glad they're still around. Yeah, that's.
So now you got to adjust it now. But they work a lot. They're on all.
Oh, they're great, dude. Yeah, they're great. They're great.
Pistons and Rockets. Rockets laying 6.5 here, total 227.5. Heat and Grizzlies, a good one here. Grizzlies 2.5, total 233. Spurs and Pelicans. Spurs 4.5 on the road. A lot of respect here. Pelican total 233. We got Wizards and Mavericks. The Mavericks 10, total 228. We'll take a look at some of the injuries here from this group of games. Spurs and Pelicans. Fox, Olenek, Socon, Waters still out for San Antonio. Murray and Looney out for the Pelicans. Missy and Metkovic questionable. Detroit and Houston. Ivy, we know Ivy with that leg situation last year, still out. Sasser doubtful. Levert probable. Houston side, Finney-Smith and Van Fleet we know are out. Tate and Crawford are probable. Miami, Hero still out. Rozier we know is going to be out for a while. Maybe not be ever come back again. Wait, look, Jakovic here, questionable. I'm sorry, out for Miami. On the Memphis side, we got Clark, Edey, Jerome, Pippen, and Williams out. Morant, Caldwell Pope are questionable there. Washington, Dallas, Koulibaly, a nice young guy. He's out again for Washington. XM and Irving, we know, out here for Dallas. Gafford is questionable. We start with Jorge.
Yeah. So you went through a whole bunch of teams, Tony. Where are we starting?
4. We're doing 4 in this block. Pistons, Rockets, Heat, Grizzlies, Spurs, Pelicans, Wizards, and Mavs.
I got it. Yeah. So
all the 8 Eastern.
Yeah, Memphis kind of a little bit of a shakeup on their roster. They're all pretty beat up. They got a lot of hurt players there. I think you're going to get an A effort out of Miami because of the gambling issues that come. They're pretty conservative. They have their system that they're proud of as compared to other programs, and it's Pat Riley's personality. And Rozier didn't do anything to do on Miami. He was actually cleared before they went there. So I think you're going to get Miami's A game. to show that they're actually going to be fired up mentally because of what's going on with the gambling in it, and show that they're still a good team of character in an organization, which they are. They've proven that over the years, even pre, during, and post LeBron era, and then after Dwayne Wade, they still have the same attitude. So definitely take Miami there plus the points. Houston 6.5. Detroit, another one of those teams, but they were already getting better last year. I'll take over that key numbers plus 6.5 here against Houston. We've seen that phenomenon, and I didn't elaborate too much on it yesterday, Tony, but we're seeing now they're trying to use all big guys to play guards, and there's 3 teams. They're putting Flag at point guard for Dallas. They're putting we did it with Houston, and what was the other one? I saw another one that has all huge lineup.
Clay was guard yesterday, wasn't he? Yeah, Clay will move him up. Thompson.
No, Flag started at the point. They switched him over because he didn't do very well.
That's what happened. That's right.
But they put him over there, and there's another team slipping my mind right now as a top guard. But I'll tell you what, Cunningham's too good. If you're gonna try
plays like this is Steph's job, man. What am I doing with the ball?
Yeah.
PJ, you got PJ and Anthony Davis. It's the 2 guards are Flag and Thompson.
Yeah. So if you Thompson's just too slow. A guy could play with Ray D. He's gonna give him a hard time.
Yeah, he had too many injuries.
He's smart enough to play and all that, but. Definitely going to take the plus points there. I'm not too much of a big fan of that happening yet. I know international ball's taken over, but there's not too many Lamar Odoms out there. You know what I mean? He was a freak of nature. They could actually run the point as a big guy coming down, and I don't know if they'll ever be any better than him at that. So
no goodness, yeah.
And Washington plus 10, another one of those teams, guys. Watching from last year, every little point to Tony's thing. They definitely got to rehab a little bit, but they had to throw a lot of guys in there.
All young, man.
A bunch of young guys.
Young dudes, man.
At double digits. I'll take Washington in that one just because it's too early in the season and too many points.
They did have Middleton. They have a few veterans there. They signed Middleton, and they signed another one there. There was 2. Let's see who they got up there. They did sign 3, and the veterans are in the starting lineup. McCollum and Middleton are the two that they signed in the offseason. I'm surprised they New Orleans moved them McCollum. But yeah, McCollum and Middleton are your two veterans they brought in, and after that, it's nothing but young dudes. It's nothing but first, second, and third year guys. They got
Poole over there.
No, Poole got moved. He got traded. Poole got traded. Yeah, he signed. Yeah, he got moved. So Poole's no longer there.
Where is he?
That's a good question. I was bashing him the other day. I forgot which team he was on. Let's see. Poole's not there anymore, and those 2 other guys are gone. That's why the injury report's so short.
That's why I jumped on late. I just saw.
Isn't Poole with the Pelicans?
Yeah, Pelicans. That's right. McCollum came over.
McCollum,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Pelican. That's right. He's with Zion. I was making fun of Poole and Zion on the same team.
Yeah, Zion's all backing up Poole now. Yeah, there you go. That's wonderful.
Wonderful there. So we're up next. We're up. We went over to. We got the middle block. We move on over to Javon.
Yeah, for me, I think it's kind of the opposite when we talk about the Miami Heat. I think this scandal is going to only add fuel to the fire. And I say that because I'm a believer of the Heat not doing too good this year. I kind of have a tank train, and I call it the tank train because I'm looking for certain teams to just tank. Now, just hear me out. You talk about the Miami Heat. We already know about the injury to Tyler Hero. It's substantial, and he may not come back till maybe January. And just based off of that, I think the Heat understand that they don't quite have it. So you look at Bam Adebayo, he's already signed. You look at Tyler Hero, he's already signed. They still have a great coach in Spoelstra. Why not take just 1 year, tank like the rest of these teams are trying to do, reach for some real talent, come back with more firepower for the next couple of years? I think it's just kind of adding to the Jimmy Butler trade. They kind of knew what they were headed for this year. And this is kind of evident in the first game, man. If you guys watch the way they play, and even into the preseason, they didn't win a single game in the preseason. They had the lead for most of that game against the Magic, and they just let it go. They just let it go play after play, and you're just watching zero oomph, zero will in this team. I'm watching this team from day one from the preseason. Like I said, I've watched every game, and I'm seeing zero will. They had a game in the preseason. I understand it's just the preseason, but it was against the Atlanta Hawks. It was a 1-point game. They had it in their hands. They once again let it go. So that's twice this season where they had games in their hands and they just let them go. and I can tell you why. It's like just the ugliest stuff you've ever seen. Me, I'm a non-believer of the Heat.
Ron, there's 81 games to go, bro.
There's 81 games. I know it's a small sample size. I'm taking my shots early on teams like this. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to chase wins and money with this bad Miami Heat team, and I'm just trying to stop you guys. I know you guys aren't going to listen, but maybe halfway through the season, you'll come back around and say, "Hey, man, this guy tried to tell us this is going to be one of the most least profitable teams this year." That's just maybe my what do you call it? Long shot of the day.
Even if that even starts out to be the truth, they will make trades. Their management has done that.
You don't think they're just going to sit around and
hell no, not
Pat Riley? Pat Riley. I don't know Pat Riley. He's not the techie type guy. He's just not to me.
That's why I pulled out the big sample. The big three, during the big three, post big three, getting rid of Butler. They got Wiggins, man. I mean, no, I don't think they're going to be as good as they were, as they potentially could have been. They still need some other players to come in. Even when Hero comes back, they still need that third. You know what I mean? To be able to be good. And they kind of have it with Wiggins, but Wiggins is a little mental, bro. You know what I mean? He's been a little mental his whole career.
Yeah.
They had to give him days off for him to come back and win. And then sometimes he came back and got hurt because he wasn't playing. So he's kind of like 2.5, right? So,
yeah, I think the Butler and Riley feud really hurt the image of the Heat.
Nah, that was he. You know what? Butler was bounced around, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? He ain't a dude. He ain't Curry. He ain't a guy who stayed with the team his whole career and went through the ups and downs to his teammates and breaking up with the Splash Brothers. Left Chicago, didn't leave Philadelphia in good standing, didn't leave Miami in good standing, and because he tried to be the one guy, but he's not the one guy no more. So he's okay, when he's not the one guy. So we'll see. I'm just a Pat Riley fan from day one. And Javon, if what you say creeps up too far, they will make trades and spend money. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just see Pat Riley doesn't seem to have the fabric. I don't think the tank is in his fabric. That's what I'm just thinking. Matter of fact, Pat Riley, plus
even if they still suck after they spend the money, they'll spend the money. They're not. I don't think his ego would let him take the tank mentality.
With the ownership change with LA, they are going to put a Pat Riley statue up. So that is going to happen. So there you go.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I'll tell you guys what. In terms of tonight, Friday night, Memphis Grizzlies at home, a great home team overall. Come on, let's just take them tonight. Okay, maybe I might have to regress later on in the season on what I said. That's okay. But I'm throwing that dart now just in case it hits, baby.
All right, there you go from Jamal. Actually, the market's going against you. They're open 3.5. We're seeing 2.5 now. 3 at Pinnacle.
It is going against me.
It's going against you, and I'm going to go against you too. I'm going to take the Heat.
Memphis is a great dog at home, though.
They covered. I mean, the Heat covered game 1 with Norman Powell. If Norman Powell, the 3-point man. Maybe that's why the Clippers sucked, because they lost Norman Powell, but Norman Powell's another shooting guard. But the issue with Miami, they had a crap load of turnovers. They had like 21 turnovers in game 1. So that, going to Javon's point, this could be a team that's going to have – they could put up covers, but they're going to have trouble getting wins. We've seen bad teams have good cover spreads, but I think with Norman Powell here, you got a shot. The reason why I will take the points here is because of the health for the Grizzlies. They're banged up. When I see Morant and Caldwell Pope on the injury report, as well as Edey, Jerome, that's an issue for me. I'll just take the points there with Miami. Spurs and Pelicans, an interesting game here. I can only look at San Antonio look really good. You don't like to go on the last game, right? That's something you don't like to do. But man, they look really good. San Antonio, 125 points per 100 possessions. How are you going to guard this team? And New Orleans was not that good defensively, giving up 117 points per 100 possessions to the Grizzlies in their loss. And again, anytime I see Jordan Poole, I just think turnovers. You look at his stat line in points, he had like 2 assists and nothing else. I mean, that's what you get.
He's the flop king, man. Jeez, man. Jordan
LeBron?
No,
Jordan Poole.
The bitch.
Jordan Poole. There. I'll go there. I'm going to actually go in the Pistons-Rockets game. We had 2 slow-paced teams here to start. Houston was very slow. They were the slowest pace to start the year. I'll go under here, Detroit and Houston. Again, they have a lot of size. And again, this is what they want to do.
The ball low. That's why they're slow.
They're slow. They're going to be slow. They're going to just play defense. Remember, the guard here for the Pistons, they lost a little bit when they lost Jaden Ivey, that broken leg. I thought it was a cheap shot when they gave him that broken leg, by the way. I got to go back in my memory bank. I just don't remember who it was. But that was a cheap shot when they went for his leg there. So I like under in that one. I think at home, the Rockets are going to be an under team. They stress a lot of defense there, but I know Kevin Durant is up there. But again, older players, Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, slow pace, right? Slow pace. So I look for the under in that one, in that game. And Wizards and Mavericks, boy, I'm going to go over in this one. Well, again, Washington is 2 veterans and a bunch of young dudes. So you're going to have a lot of speed on offense and not a lot of defense from the wall. I think there's going to be a lot of clear lanes to the basket for Dallas to get theirs. I like the over in that one. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Morning Show. Close out NBA with these final 4. Jazz and Kings. The Kings 5, total 233.5. T-Wolves and Lakers. The T-Wolves road favorites here of 2.5, total 225.5. Warriors and Blazers. Warriors on the back-to-back, pushed into overtime. 1 point favorite, total 227. We know what's going on. Splitter is now the interim coach for the Trailblazers. And Suns and Clippers. Look at this. The Clippers 10, 10.5, 9.5, total 224 in that one. There, let's take a quick look here at these injury reports here to get an update on who's playing, who's not. Minnie and the Lakers. Minnesota coming in with a clean injury report for this game. We know James, Kleber, and Tiro out for the Lakers. Warriors and Portland so far listed. Melton, Moody, Tui out, but it's a back-to-back. You know, they like to play these games. We'll see if Green plays. We'll see if Butler plays. We'll see if Curry plays. It is a back-to-back spot here for the Warriors. Keep an eye throughout the day to see if there's any players added to that list. For Portland, Scoot Henderson out for Portland. And, of course, Robert Williams out there. Well, he's been moved around. He's out there for Portland. Utah and Sacramento. Collier and Niang still out there. For Sacramento, Keegan Murray, their stud, he's out. Clifford out. Sabonis now upgraded to questionable there. Suns and Clippers. Green out for Phoenix. Only Miller, Jordan Miller, like in game 1. Clippers are fairly healthy in that loss. That's scary. We start here with Jorge.
Yeah, no, Mr. Walker said, Tony, don't listen to Curry. Curry is the NBA daddy. He always has been. He has been for the last 10 years. I've always talked to my buddies. I played basketball with my whole life. They all get all fired up. I'd always tell them, who's the number 1 pick you take to start a basketball team to win a championship? It's always been Curry the last 10 years. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're playing that way this year, Tony. I think it's too early for load management. I think they're going away from that unless you have a real injury. I think the whole league is really. I kind of got a black eye, and that's all because of the bitch and what he's pulled at the beginning of the season. I got sciatica. Oh, I have my sciatica. Who the hell's ever said I can't start because of my sciatica?
Well, that's guys. People get sciatica when they drive trucks for 30 years.
You can't run and you can't play defense, or you can. I have sciatica. I can't play. Yeah, but you were playing golf with your kid 2 days before you said you had sciatica. So how bad is it?
He's on Kaisenet's stream doing all sorts of dances, and he's living it up. But
he's just upset because she's not the number 1 option on the team anymore, and it's all about Luka, and it's not about her. So that's the problems that we have with the bitch, and we'll have to deal with until he retires. So and it can't be a day too soon, or trade him and get rid of him and his dysfunctional kid with him, because all that does is hurt the bench for the Lakers like it did last year in the playoffs. So the good riddance. I can go back to liking my Lakers again as soon as he leaves. But
what did LeBron do to you exactly? I just had to ask.
Rule the Lakers and nothing. I'm nothing really. You know, he hasn't done anything for them. He's the greatest Laker ever. He ain't even in the top 5.
Okay, that's fair enough.
He ain't a top 5 Laker. I mean,
we got him at the end of his career too, so that's a little different fact there. But I think a lot of Laker fans didn't like the way he treated Pat Riley back in. No, there's a lot of people out here that like Riley.
The day he didn't honor Kareem, he can go to hell. I'd have kicked the sorry ass right off the team, right then and there. You know, those guys were there. They won their. You're not going to give them their due respect. Get out of here, man. Go away. You got your money. You're better off the court than you are on the court. Get out of here. You know what I mean? You do good business. You help people. You do stuff. Go be better to the world, because right now you destroyed the NBA. It's a soft league, and it's a soft league because of you. That's why you're a little bitch. But if you're a tough league again, it'll be fun to watch when you're gone. And I'm a diehard Laker fan, but I'm just not a fan. But I did like him last year. I'm just beyond now. I'm mortified to myself that he didn't take Luke under his wing. He did. As soon as he took Luke under his wing about getting in shape and doing all the thing, then he went back to his old ways. I was just so done with them now. I was very
make it make sense. You're right. Yeah.
Gave me his due last year. He was saying, hey, I'm getting old. I might go. When Luka came over, took him under his wing, talked about getting in shape. They made their little push, but you need that extra spot in the playoffs. Seriously, your kid shouldn't be there. And look, he's worked hard. I will give Bronny that he's worked hard in his G League. He should still go back to the G League, and if he can develop a shot, he could end up a role player because he's learned at the NBA level. He's had that opportunity, but he shouldn't be there now. He didn't even play the other day. Let him keep playing in the G League because he didn't get to college. Because he is as a kid, he's shown with all that he's come in and worked really, really hard. And he's not making mistakes. He's not a total detriment to the team, but he has scored. But yeah, that's my.
Well, nowadays, if you go in the G League, you can go back to college. I guess that's the new
great.
rule.
I gotta look that up.
That's the new rule now. Yeah,
crazy.
You should have seen. I know that's hidden. I know they pulled Louisville signed a G League guy, and that's pretty much opened the door for the G Leaguers to go back to college. That is some crazy stuff.
I'll take the Lakers tonight.
The G League might just vanish at that rate. Then I mean, ain't it right? Like if I had the choice,
college basketball did not like the G League. They felt they were trying to go to compete with the NBA. They did not like the fact that the NBA college basketball looks as the NBA competing with them by bringing up this G League. They did not like that.
So well, if you had the choice, you're going back to college rather than playing in the G League all day, every day, right?
The NIL now. Yeah, so they opened the door because Louisville signed a G League player, and man, the coaches lost their mind. Calvin Sampson, Calipari, I forgot who's the guy from Michigan State. I mean, there's so many sports it escapes me. The head coach for Michigan State, the guy that's been there forever. He went on a tirade. All these guys went on a tirade. You cannot be bringing in these guys from the pro leagues and putting them back to college, but. I guess it's okay to do that. So, Louisville challenged the system and got away with it. And there's another couple of guys that are going to move that intend to go back to college with their college eligibility. So yeah, college basketball just got even crazier now with G League guys going back to college.
That is crazy.
That is absolutely crazy.
Very, very, very against that. That is wild. I heard that.
The Louisville signed somebody, and that opened the floodgates. And man, like I said, the Kusa coach of Michigan State, if name escapes me, he went on. He was the first one to go on a tirade. Then Calvin Sampson, and then Izzo. Yeah, the last couple. I know this has kind of been back burner stuff. College basketball is really not in the news right now. But man, when that came out, all you saw was a bunch of guys just really going off. Man, they're just college basketball is in a real state of real crazy flood. But again, college basketball did not like the fact that G League was brought in. This is why college basketball letting them come back because. They felt the NBA is going up against them now by bringing that G League.
So are these players able to re-enter the draft after the college run again? Or
I don't know I have no idea.
This is crazy.
That's crazy. But you know what? The college basketball, again, they're mad at the NBA. They're going to allow this because they felt, like I said, they did not like the G League coming in because, you're taking our stars away from us, So that's
it was kind of reverse. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So they said, why not let them come back? Let them come back.
It wasn't. I mean, if you're going to allow the NIL, why create the G League? Because it's the same thing, right? I mean, they're getting paid more now than what the G League pays.
Yeah, that's the reason. That is the reason. The G Leaguers are coming back because hey, we're making more money. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bronny goes back to SC. I would not be surprised.
Man.
Yeah,
that's different though. He's played in the big league.
He's already played. Yeah, he already has. That's right. He already has time in the NBA. But who knows? Maybe if you're in the G League, maybe we'll see. They're going to test the system. And college basketball said, "Fine, we're pissed off at the NBA anyway. We don't care." All right, we move on in this last block over to Javon.
Sorry, guys, I kind of lost track there, man. It's all good.
Hold on, we were still going on LeBron, going off on LeBron, but I'll plus the points here. They filled in the spots there. Kings are just missing two of their best players. You know what I mean? Yeah. They got to have those guys, and to have to get some value at home with the Lakers. They played tough in their first game. Obviously, Golden State's playing extremely well right now through their first two games. They're healthy for old guys. Their young guys are playing well. So definitely we'll take the Lakers here. I'm sorry, Lakers against Minnesota. I got the other games confused because we got so far off track. But I'll take the Lakers here plus 2.5 against Minnesota.
There we go from Jorge. Move on over to Javon.
For me, there wasn't a lot in this last slate, but Tony T, you mentioned Sabonis is now upgraded to probable or questionable.
Questionable. Yeah, he was out the last game, but he was up. He got an upgrade for this game up to questionable.
Yeah, so for me, this line didn't make sense before I understood that information. Now it's starting to make sense. I think Sabonis plays based off of this line. I think it's baked into the line, as we well know it usually is. If Sabonis plays, I'm taking Kings -5.5, and I'm not afraid to extend it. Friday night at home, I think they like the beam, turn it up for their home crowd. If Sabonis is out, I'm taking Jazz on the money line. So either way, I'm reaching for plus money. I'm either extending it and reaching for plus money with the home side if Sabonis plays. If he's out, I'm taking Jazz on the money line to continue what they started here in game one.
Yeah, the Jazz had I think the lowest season win total of any other team, and had the biggest blowout win against the Clipper team that was loaded there.
They might make it, dude. I think they have a good shot at having a winning record. They balled very well at the end of last year with all those subs, and they're all there. They bring in a couple of veterans to lead the way. Don't be shocked, man. It's a Danny Ainge built team, and as much as I've never been a fan of his on any level. He does make the moves, and we'll get some young players to fill into the system. And he's got his kid over there running his GM. So, I'm big on Utah as well.
And that was from a rather poor performance, if you would like to call that, out of their rookie and Ace Bailey, on which I'm high on this kid. I told you guys before, and I'll tell you guys again, this is my rookie of the year. I know this is another crazy take, but this is my rookie of the year. And I think he's going to show you guys why, man. Just in the preseason, I felt like he was head and shoulders above the rest. I know you got Cooper Flag still there. I'm just talking about the rest of the field. I think Ace Bailey might edge it out over Cooper Flag. That's my take, rookie of the year.
There you go.
Philadelphia, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Edgecombe. Hey, man, damn, he looks good because what he's doing is he took over for what McCain did as a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of filled in the same slot.
Oh, yeah.
Man, in that system, the 76ers, as much as we wanted to bash them over the last couple of years, it seems like they might be built for something this year. If George can get healthy, if they can stay healthy, that's the big if. But yeah, man, you got to like it, especially if McCain comes back, right, healthy, and man, Janai Broom.
Here's why Edgecombe's got an advantage over the other two guys. He's already built for an NBA season.
Yeah.
The 82 game.
I
looked that up. I didn't realize I was watching news and I watched some clips on him. I was like, dude, this dude's already 230 and yoked.
You're a dog, man.
Curry now, at the end of his career. Now he's got some muscles on him to endure the and that's how he stayed that long.
But it does help that you got the inside-outside game with Maxey and Embiid. So he got a lot of clear looks, too. He got a lot of
George there, too. You got a bunch of veterans to learn from, that play the style that once they're all on the court, they can win. When McCain comes back, no, they could be a second-half team for the season for sure.
100%.
Yeah, there's no doubt because, like I said, they game plan Maxey and Embiid. Now you got to game plan Edgecombe. See how that rolls here. Interesting to see moving forward with him in the lineup. Of course, when McCain and George comes in, how all that's going to work. I think Edgecombe may be the guy off the bench for you. We'll see how it is because he's just a rookie, right? But we'll see how they off the bench. I know, right? They don't want to take him off the bench, but someone has to come on. Someone has to. Maybe McCain will be the guy coming off the bench.
I mean, I would do that as the two. I don't know how good defense. We'll see which one of them plays better defense. I think that'll be the determining factor.
Yep. Well, they defended the end game pretty well against Boston to get that win there. But yeah, to me, it's a tough one. That to me, I can't. The Warriors. I got to see the Warriors in back-to-back before I back them. It's an old team, but back-to-back. Portland's rested. That scares me. Of course, you got the coaching change there.
Well, reverse of Miami, Billups has always been the ultimate pro. Played 17 years. Didn't know he had and poker players are the worst, dude. If anybody's got a gambling addiction, it's grind out poker players, dude. They don't care win, lose. They love the grind. There's no gambler that loves the grind more than a poker player. All the money he's got, all the success he's had, and how well he was doing as a coach, those are a lot of young players over there. Dude, they're just distraught. Billups was one. They were starting to get there. They were totally improved. This was the year they were probably going to make the playoffs. Even in the tough West, we had a shot anyways with Henderson and the great young players they have over there. Damon's out, Lillard's out. So I think even though it's back-to-back, the Warriors are deep. Their young guys are performing.
Yeah.
If you're going to get 7 assists, 8 rebounds, and 17 points out of Kuminga, you can rest Green. If he's going to ball like that, and I think he's going to mature. I think the offseason has kind of brought him back. They brought him back through all the contract stuff. This is his year. I think he comes up. I don't know, man. They're balling very well. I mean, they're playing mid-season basketball already. So I'll take Portland's got to be in disarray, man. They're too young.
Yeah,
And
that's it.
Miller's that father figure, always done everything right in his life. I mean, if you would have wanted to pick one coach in there that got caught up in this, he might have been the last one you'd pick.
Yep. And I will say this: Anthony Simons looked pretty good in a Boston uniform in game one. Simons off the bench.
That was a steal. That was
Yeah.
a steal. The Celtics continue to steal. They stole who was it? Drew Holiday from the Bucks, and then they stole Simons from the Blazers. It was a pure
And
steal.
actually, who looked good in Boston uniform was Luka Garza too. He got a lot of minutes. He looked pretty good in the Celtics.
Big fella, yeah.
Yeah, the big guy. So he looked like, so he didn't do much. I think he was with the Timberwolves, wasn't he? He was buried in that. He was buried in that lineup. But now I know why they got rid of their big guys. Porzingis was gone. Williams was gone a long time ago. But Cornette was the guy I was surprised they got rid of. But now I see.
Yeah, no, he was tough.
Yeah, Cornette. Only Keto was the only guy. But now I saw that they used Garza a lot, and he was able to really fill. They've got a pretty good mix there with Boston. Again, Simons. If you're looking for a long shot sixth man of the year, Simons might be the guy. Anthony Simons. He's gonna. There's no Tatum in there. Simons is coming off the bench.
No, he can score, no doubt about it.
He can score, and he looks, like I said, he looks really good in a Celtic uniform when I saw him in game one. So we'll see how that rolls there. I'm having trouble with these games as well late. I could have gotten 6.5 with Utah in game one. Last night, it was 6.5. Murray Sabonis injuries are the concern here. Utah, man, I just can't. Those numbers they put up were just out of insane. Can only look at them in that spot. Yeah, the Timberwolves and Lakers, this is a tough one for me. This is the healthy Tebow squad, and if they're healthy, I can only look at them in this spot. Lakers offense was off, and defense was bad. They gave 119 points per 100 possessions there to the Warriors in the opener. I can only look at a healthy Minnesota team. All right, let's continue here on. And, of course, the Suns and Clippers, I'm going to go over in that one. The Clippers defense did not look good. But they're a good defensive team, but, man, their numbers are horrible in that one. Suns efficient in the offense, but not so much in the defense. They allowed 116 points per 100 possessions there to the Kings, who are missing their two of their big players there. So I'll go over their Suns and the Lakers. All right, we got a few on the ice, so we'll just go to Javon here for the ice segment here. Javon.
All right, Tony, I'm going to bounce out. I got to get my plays up, buddy. I don't even have my plays up yet. I just saw it was you two.
All right, gotcha. What you got for sale, Jorge, today?
I got to get my plays up, but I'm going to have something in college today. I'll definitely have a couple plays in the NBA. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with baseball, but I'll have some college football up. I'll have early pack up for tomorrow morning today, but I got to get to work on them right now, Tony.
All right, so get on board with Jorge over at Tony's Picks, putting up some great numbers here over the last 7 days, 379 units of profit. So get on board with Jorge. He'll have his one day passes up for you in just a second. So get on board there with Jorge. All right, have a good one. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right.
You got it. All right, we'll go over to Javon here, cover the ice here. 4 games on the ice. Capitals, Blue Jackets. Capitals, $1.15, total of 6. Sharks and Devils. Boy, the Sharks they're on the road. We got the Devils. Look at this, $3.50. We got our big line of the year so far, total 6. Maple Leafs and Sabres. Maple Leafs, $1.25, total there 6. And Flames and Jets to close it out. The Jets, $1.60, total of 6.
All right, man. Really quickly, I don't know if you guys saw the comment that was made from the Sharks head coach when he said he would give up one of his kids for a win. Congratulations, brother. You got yourself a win. I hope you didn't have to give up one of your children's for that win, man. With that being said, they're facing a Devils team, which at the beginning of the season, I thought this Devils team was crap. I take that back. This is an excellent Devils team. Let's take them on the puck line without shame. And then this Maple Leafs, I'm just going to give it to you guys, man. This is a freemium. I have it over at the site as a best bet, but since you guys stuck around and there's not a lot going on tonight in the NHL, I'll give it out as a freemium. Take the Maple Leafs on the money line. Great value play. It keeps kind of climbing. I'm not going to chase the puck line. You don't really want to chase puck lines in NHL. Kind of the same thing with all sports, chasing -1.5s is really not the thing to do. Sometimes you got to pay up, right? The price on each day is different, right? And so this is a money line play that we're just going to attack. Despite the 3-3 record, the Maple Leafs still have one of the best offenses in the league. We understand the household names. They currently rank 4th in the NFL in total goals scored at 24 goals across these 6 games. So we're just trusting the better team here on Friday night. Man, really, that's really it. We're just kind of attacking Maple Leafs, and that's really all I got for you guys. It's a freemium, man.
There you go. From someone's asked about Spurs and Warriors aren't playing each other. we covered the Spurs and Pelicans and the Warriors and Trailblazers there. Warriors on a back-to-back here. I think the line was one. I would lean the rest of the team. If you ask me there, I would lean Portland only because of the rest situation. But I got to see this early in the season. I got to see how the Warriors handle back-to-backs. I'm not going to put my money on the Warriors. I mean, to me, obviously, if they're fully rested, you know who the better team is. But in a back-to-back spot after an overtime, let's see what happens. And I know that I got to see, and I also got to see what the coaching, with how he coaches too, Kerr, with his old lineup here in these back-to-backs. So we'll see.
And if we're just talking about the Sabres side, sorry, Tony T, if we're just talking about the Sabres side of things, another few reasons why you should take the Maple Leafs. The Sabres in the underdog role, not too well. And over the last 10 games, their offense has cooled down substantially, scoring less than 3 goals. So like I said, we're just trusting these household names in the Maple Leafs to bounce back, especially on Friday night on the road, cause a little bit of mayhem there. Maple Leafs money line.
Nice money line there. Someone's asking here about the Spurs. Then we covered that earlier. Let's see. We're going back to what we look at on Spurs game. I think I definitely lean Spurs in that one based on their offensive output. And again, Poole is an inefficient guard play. If you look at the stat sheet, points with just 2 assists, nothing else. That's always what I'm worried about with Poole, just the inefficient guard play. And you got pretty much even though it's Wembanyama, but it looks like a team game out there that they're playing. And
listen, man, it's Spurs for me, and Wemby looked incredible. I mean, you took a top 10 player. Hakeem, I don't know what you did with this man in the offseason, but now he's top 3. He looks crazy. I don't know if you guys saw those highlights and actually watched, but Tony T, you called that a team game, but to me, that was like 2K. Give me the ball. You guys get out of the way. And man, this is something that you just haven't seen. And so I think a lot of people are taking the Spurs and they're taking their most recent success, and they might be scared of this number on the road for whatever reason against Zion Williamson. I get all that. Don't be afraid, man. This is a good Spurs team. I think the Spurs team will make the playoffs. They're looking good, man. There's really not much to say, man.
Yeah, don't forget they got Steven Castle in there too. So they got there's a lot of talent around them, around Wemby here. So there you go. All right, we got you through the hockey. Now it's time for our parlay purple segment where our captures give it a parlay, team player prop, game of the future. We go over back to Javon.
So a player prop that I'm attacking today is Evan Mobley. I mentioned this earlier. The Cavs were beat, man. They were beat kind of bad. I understand the point spread didn't really indicate that, but they were out rebounded substantially as well. 38-22 is what I last checked. But one positive that you could take from that Cavs win was Evan Mobley and his success on the offensive side of the ball. I think if the Cavs are going to want to take it to the next step, we talk about the Cavs and it's kind of the same thing every year, right? They lead the league in the regular season, then they choke. I'm looking for the Cavs to try to take that next step. And it's not even a try, because if they don't do it, they're going to blow it up, right? And if they're going to take that next step, it's going to be Evan Mobley. He looked good in his first start on offense, and I expect a bounce back performance from him on the rebound game, because like I said, they were out rebounded against the Knicks. So I don't know if there's a PRA points, rebounds, assist prop for Evan Mobley. If you guys can find that, I would attack it. If not, just attack individually his rebounds, his points, however you can get it. Take his over everything. I expect a bounce back game from the Cavs. And if they can't win, like I said, I expect good things to continue out of Evan Mobley. So attack that over prop for Evan Mobley.
Yeah, from Siobhan. What'd you take from OKC? Getting everyone's best right off the bat, right? Rockets and the Pacers, they got pushed to OT. They got pushed hard in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys saw that clip, man, but at the end of that double OT game last night, SGA's laying on the floor, man, and his teammate came to pick him up, and he's like, bro, I'm tired. Like, I'm fucking tired, bro. Like, and so, man, listen, this is what we wanted, man. We want to see how far we can push this Thunder team. We already know this is the second youngest team to ever win the championship, and so that's what makes this team different. I think a lot of people kind of skip that stat over, and that's not a stat that should be just overlooked. The second youngest team to ever win the NBA championship, and they signed all these guys with the quickness, right? And so they know what it takes. They've identified their players, and they've already they've already made the commitment to these guys, right? And so this is a good team for years to come. Got to be excited about them, right?
That's right. Of course, everyone's number 2 to OKC was Denver. What did you take from Denver's performance?
So yeah, you talk about the Denver Nuggets. For me, there's just not enough right now. It's early on in the season, right? We're still trying to gain some samples, and just really, I thought they were supposed to take that game last night. I kind of made a side bet here. I get into my head, man. I had the Warriors on the site last night, and then late last night I got a little bit of information, and I'm like, Nuggets. So I get on to Bovada. I place a little bet on the Nuggets. Of course, they fail. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on the Nuggets right now, to be honest. Let's get some more information, right?
More information. We'll see what, of course, the big question: who's going to be the Final Four? Obviously, OKC. You got Minnesota. You got Denver in the mix, and Dallas is out there. Golden State. I think
your top teams out of the East: Orlando, New York, and I think your top teams out of the West, obviously, Thunder, and from there, it's a toss-up for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that can value. You got Minnesota, you got Denver. The Warriors are going to see if the Warriors can hold up for the season. That's what we got to see, how they can hold up with that.
And a lot of these teams, don't get the leeway that we would like in terms of how long you got to make shit happen, right? So we're talking about the Cavs. This could be potentially one of their last years. They need to make it happen. They're not going to keep getting these same chances with the same team before they blow it up. And so we're looking for teams like that, right, where they're kind of on their last leg. And, the Clippers are obviously a good prime example of that. This is their last shot for a lot of those players. So that's just a good storyline to follow. As you guys know, Chris Paul, a lot of one-timers over there, right? Kind of the same thing with the Sixers. There's a lot of teams that are on their last hoorah. And so this is a good season. You combined in the great rookies. This is the better rookie class, one of the better drafts that we've seen in the last decade. Wouldn't you agree?
I think so. Yeah, definitely agree. The young talent now, the last couple seasons, really
wonderful, man. So yeah, so you mix in all that. This is a good year for basketball. Good time to be alive. Good time to make some money, man.
I mean, look, I know the off the court stuff is getting out there, but the on the court stuff has been absolutely great. I mean, it's been absolutely great. I mean, I can't tell you what the primetime games delivered. Great games, and the teams really pushed OKC. And of course, we saw what happened with those games last.
And you can thank social media for a lot of this. Social media has let you kind of on the inside of a lot of these teams, right? Before you didn't have an inside scoop, but I'll tell you guys right now, Zach Edey isn't injured. This man just got pulled over for doing 155 or something like that. So he has the kind of the Ja Morant effect, right? That team overall. Who is it? Is it Chris who's a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies? Is that correct? Chris, I'm sorry, man. That team is like, man, they are just troublesome, brother. I mean, Ja Morant is a cancer in terms of trouble because now you got Zach Edey getting pulled. And if you just go look at the video, he's like, come on, man. You guys are he's not injured. He's just going through a lot of court issues, and it's just trouble, man, in Memphis. But with that being said, they're still a good team with Ja Morant as long as they can keep him. And they got the Defensive Player of the Year, Jaren Jackson, correct?
Yeah, so they do. So we'll see how that rolls. A lot of teams will compete there. That West is still loaded. Probably for me today will be I'll take the Jazz plus. I'll take Minnesota Lane. I'll take the over Suns and the Clippers. All right, now it's time to see what we have for sale over at Tony's Picks. Heading into a big week of action here from NBA. Of course, we got World Series starting as well. So lots of great times to be up there in sports. So we'll see what Javon's has for sale right now over at Tony's Picks. Of course, Javon's put together impressive numbers here over on the site here. As you see over the past 7 days, 500 units of profit. That's based on a $100 unit wager size. Javon, what you got for sale?
Right now, I kind of lost track of thought, but I got a lot going on over there at the site right now. I have a 3-pack, I believe. Yeah, there you go. You got the Blitz Bundle 3-pack. I got my winning 5 in the NBA today. That's 5 picks that I like. We talked about most of those guys, so that's a little hint there. Skate to the bank. That's my best bet in the NHL. I gave that to you guys as well, man. I'm giving you guys a lot of winners, man. I'm trying to put you guys on the winning side, man. And if not, I'm trying to build trust here. You understand? So as much as we love to chase money, I'm here to help you guys win as well. So while I win, I hope you guys are winning and chasing the green with me. With that being said, we also have a best bet in the NFL already posted. When it comes to football, man, I'm not gonna lie. That was one of the sports that I was most afraid of. If that's a word, I don't really want to say afraid, man, because we're really not scared. But that was the one that I was most worried about when entering Tony's picks. I didn't, football just hasn't been kind to me. I'll put it like that. But if you look at the leaderboards right now in terms of NFL and college football, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. And so it just goes to prove that my system is traveling well across all sports. So if you believe in me, hop on, man. I can help you guys turn some profit. Let me do the groundwork for you. Like I said, I sit here 24 hours a day. I don't have really a lot going on right now, man, in terms of my outside life, man. So I'm locked in with you guys. I'm locked in with sports. I know I've missed you guys for the last week. Life is kind of taking a toll on your boy, but we're here. We're ready to bounce back. So lock in with me, man. Tony T at checkout, save 15%. Pair me up with one of these other guys. Continue to look at the leaderboards. What I don't suggest is hopping around, man. I've done this before. I'll just kind of give you guys an example. I went to a certain capper a couple years back, bought about 3 of his picks. He lost all 3 of those throughout the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday. Well, hell, Friday comes, I try to hop on another capper. Guess what happens? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, loser, loser, loser. So I do not suggest you jump capper to capper. As you know, it's just not the way to go. I just kind of proved why, man. You kind of ride it out with us, man. As you know, we hit cold streaks, hot streaks. And so that's what it's all about. But that's why that 2-for-1 capper special is there. And it's definitely beneficial. Also, late steam, man. I have a lot of late steam plays. I'm heavy in volume. So in my first month, I think I've posted over 125 plays or something like that, man. I'm heavy in volume across all sports. I do need to slow it down. That's me being a little excited, right? Trying to climb the leaderboards, trying to smash stuff, but that's okay. We're going to get to the green. I also have posted today the court report from Javon. It's just a little segment, a little video, right, where we kind of run down the NBA's games. And every once in a while, I'll throw in a best bet of mine because I realize that there's a large following for NHL. So I appreciate you guys. I do love NHL myself. I have knocked out my last 3 NHL plays in a row. I think I'm like 9-15 overall on the season. High volume once again. So we will catch back up there. And I will continue to hunt down some NHL plays for you guys in the comment section because we do appreciate you. And like I said, we're just here to turn green any day, every day, man. So let's get to it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That's right. I got Javon over at Tony's Picks. One-day passes up there for you right now. 3 packs, best bets, and more. Remember, all of our one-day passes are profit guaranteed. They must earn a profit amount purchased. Will be credited back to your account for site credits. That's profit guaranteed. Get on board with Javon over at Tony's Picks. Hey, it's on a Friday. You guys love that 3-day all sports pass. So instead of buying all the plays individually, why not get on board with Javon on a 3-day pass? This way you don't hop cappers. Stick to Javon here. 3-day, 7-day, and more. Remember the promo code TonyT at checkout will knock off that 15% off. Knock it off that 99 down to 84 for you when you get on board with Javon. And that 3-day pass includes all of his plays that he releases, including late steam. And if there's any props in there as well. So we'll get on board with Javon over at Tony's Picks, promo code TonyT at checkout. Save that 15% off. I have a best bet on the board right now here from Major League Baseball. So get on board with me heading into a big weekend of action here from NBA, NFL, college football, and more. So get on board with me over at Tony's Picks, guys. With you here every day at 9:30 a.m. each time. It is the Tony X Morning Show. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. Pay a visit over to our YouTube channel. A lot of great content up there. Of course, if you head onto our homepage, this is what you're going to see when you search Tony's Picks. You'll find our compilation videos. We got the 2-3 zone crew today. It's Rod, Justin, and Ron Crawford in 2-3 zone with that breakdown and picks from this 12-game card from the NBA. Devon with his court report. Check that out. NBA, of course, covering Hawks, Celtics, Cavs, and more on the best bet. A little more deeper dive there with the compilation video. I've got the deep dives as well. Baseball, college football, and more. Check me out over on the channel as well. Props, our man Chris with his home run prop videos. Game 1 of the World Series. Get the home run hit list there from Chris with that video. And more NFL, college football. I've got all the games up already for Saturday. You can check that out as well. Baseball World Series coverage. And, of course, NHL. Ramon's got it covered today from the NHL. Every game on the board. And check that out there. Fight videos, CFL, even from Ramon. Shorts up there for you guys. So a lot of great content and more. Of course, guys, make sure you hit the live tab if you want to watch a replay of our live show. That's up there. Night Moves, that's hosted by Ramon and DeAndre Stevenson. They give you a complete rundown on the games for you there on the Night Move show. And of course, you can also check the end of week, slice them, and make individual videos on all the game breakdowns. That's also on the channel, so check it out. Night Moves, 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. So you guys on the East Coast, you want to watch an early show early in the morning when you wake up, check out Night Moves, a complete game rundown for you with picks from DeAndre and Ramon. Happy hour. You see Ron over there with Ron, and we'll see Brian up there. Some other cappers will join in that happy hour as well. So check it out. A lot of great content up there. Of course, Javon, today up on the channel, looks like you debuted your video series up there on the compilation side here with your video series here up on the channel right over on Tony's Picks.
Yeah, that's correct, man. Like I spoke about just a few minutes ago, I kept coming up with different names, right? Because ultimately, I didn't want to just focus on strictly NBA, just because of how well-rounded I am. I wanted to give you guys a couple of other plays, but ultimately, we just stuck with Javon's court report. It was easy to roll off the tongue, easy to say in the intro, all that good stuff. If you guys go watch that video, a little shaky. I was sitting there in my hoodie, so a little sweaty. But at the same time, I hope we got you guys some profitable winners. And I'll see you guys every day, man. I plan to put it in the work. We're about a month in here on Tony's Picks, man. And just like any other job, right? About a month in, if it's something that you're passionate about, something that you love, you're going to turn up and you're going to show up and show out. And that's what we plan to do. So I appreciate you guys once again. Let's get it.
Get it right there, guys. 2-3 zone up on the board. The court report for John right now up on there. Check it out on the compilation side. There are a lot of great content on the Tony's YouTube channel. So invite all of you guys to go there and check it out over at Tony's Picks YouTube channel. All right, that guys with you here every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys tune into the channel. We greatly appreciate that here on the Tony's Picks show. Go back tomorrow with more coverage. Any closing thoughts from you, Javon, before we close it out?
No, man, I think we've said plenty today. I hope you guys have a good one. Make it a winning one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll do it for today, guys. You're going to wake up. Bye, guys. Make it a winning one. We're back tomorrow here on the Tony 6 Morning Show.